All right, pull up a chair. This is gonna be a good one today. My name is Michelle. Thank you so much for being here. And if you didn't guess by the title, this video is about what to expect when you're expecting your very first massage client. Whether you are in school and you've got clinic coming up, or you're a new grad and you're just starting to take in clients, this video is for you. The pre-client jitters are a real thing. And if you haven't seen your first client in clinic yet, you know all too well what I'm talking about. It's so nerve-wracking to see your very first client. And I think that this fear, nerves are fear. Fear comes from a place of either I'm not capable enough or the client expects more from me. And it's really often to hear people say, what do I do when my client expects me to fix them? So what I would say, there's a couple of tactics you can do to get around this. The very first tactic is going to sound really obvious, but clear communication. Your ability to deliver results is going to be dependent on your understanding of what the client needs and wants. Make sure to ask them and repeat back to them, mirror back, like hold up a mirror to them and tell them, this is what I hear you saying. Am I correct? Because clients want to be seen and heard, basic human need. But number two, I think that one of the biggest complications in creating a treatment plan is that you don't always have a clear, like you and the client are just not on the same page. How many times have you gone for a haircut and your hair has been a totally different cut than what you thought you communicated to the stylist? It's the same thing, client and therapist. That's number one. Make sure you understand what the client wants. Number two, once you have a really clear understanding of their expectations, assess whether their expectations are realistic. If you're hearing that they want to be fixed, let them know what's realistic. So that brings us actually really nicely into the next point, which is if your client's expectations are unrealistic, empower them to help create change. So empower your client by saying, the work we did to your pecs, you can sustain those results by sticking to your home care with rhomboid strengthening, for example. You're a facilitator in their healing journey. You're not there to fix them. You're there to be a guiding light and to get them started and to bring them bodily awareness. This is extremely effective because what you're doing here is not only empowering your client to create their own change, but you're also redirecting their expectations of you. Now, if you're in a situation where your client has expressed that they have an expectation and you cannot meet it, but you think you should, you know what? Check that ego at the door, be the healthcare provider you are, step up to the plate and say to them, this is what I can do for you, but you may need to, and then outsource them to someone else, right? So if a client says to you that they want some crazy fascial release done and you're a new grad and you hardly even know what fascia is, never mind releasing it, then just chuck your ego aside and let them know that they can receive treatment that they're looking for from, and then refer them to someone else. And that's honestly called doing good business. And you can follow it up. You know, if you're worried about your professional image, you can follow it up with, I'm actually gonna be taking a course in that, you know, next month or whatever. Let them know you're being proactive. Let them know you're committed to your education and being an optimal healthcare provider. But never take on more than you can chew, and just be open and honest with your client. Okay, and my best weapon for preparing for a massage client, honestly, I did this all throughout practice, and it was so effective so I wouldn't get nervous, was to read my clients' files in advance. I use a software called ClinicSense, and I would always read my files as soon as the client would fill them out, and this gave me an opportunity to ask the questions, do the research that I needed to before they came into treatment. And it meant that I could land into the client intake interview like really quickly and already have an idea of the questions I wanted to ask them as a follow-up to what they had already written. If you want an idea on how to maintain client files, make sure you check out this video. Truly, this is like the best weapon I have for getting over those client jitters, because to be honest, it gets easier and easier every client, but it can take a while for those jitters to go away. So if you have any questions or concerns or things that I didn't mention, drop them below. I'd love to hear from you. And you're cordially invited to join our Facebook group called Massage Students, where we have discussions like this just every day. And I look forward to seeing you there. See you in the next one.